Hi, welcome to my story time with Nana. I have a whole new story for you. This story is about a family. They're moving to the city. It's very exciting. They're new characters. I hope you enjoy it. I wrote it this week, so I'm really excited about it. Let's begin. The Appletons move in. The Appleton family was moving to the city. Mommy was nervous that she wouldn't like city life and that her children would have a hard time making new friends. And Daddy was nervous that they were making such a big move all because of his new job. And the two Appleton children, they were just plain nervous. They had never lived in a city before, and they had only visited the city one time on a field trip to the museum. They pulled up to the 5-story apartment building in a yellow taxi cab and looked in awe at their new home. The building was red brick and stucco with 2 big doors in the center of the building and a red awning, and it looked like the whole first floor was just mirrors on each side of the doors. The mirrors were fancy too. They were tinted gold. Their moving truck was parked in front of the building, and the men were still bringing furniture and boxes inside. The Appleton family waved goodbye to their cabbie as he pulled away from the curb. "Well, hello," said a man in a tall hat standing by the big front doors. "Francis O'Phalen's the name, but you can just call me Frank," he said, extending his hand out to Daddy. Daddy shook his hand. "Welcome to the Village Apartments. We're sure you're going to be happy here." He extended his hand down to the boys as well. "Gentlemen," he said, and the boys giggled and shook Mr. Frank's hand. "Why, thank you, Mr. O'Phalen," Daddy replied. "This is my wife, Olivia, and my twin boys, Patrick and Alex. We're very excited to be here." "It's just Frank, and Mr. Frank to you, boys. We don't stand on ceremonies here," said Mr. Frank. "Let's get you all inside so I can give you a tour," he said, opening one of the big giant doors. Right in the center at the back of the lobby was a giant elevator, and it was old-timey. It had a big black dial above the doors to let you know where the elevator was stopped. And right now, it was on the 5th floor. To the left of the elevator was a beautiful lobby with red and gold chairs and sofas. And that was when the children realized that the mirrors outside were really windows inside, and they could see the park across the street. And their moving truck was parked at the curb, and that was when a lady walked by, looked right in at them, and then fixed her hat and moved on. And the children laughed because she did not realize that they could see her, but she couldn't see them. On the right of the lobby were little metal mailboxes with locks, and below each box was an open box, probably for a newspaper. And each metal box had a number and name neatly typed and inserted into a plastic slot on top. Some of the mailboxes didn't have names, but most did. And on mailbox number 502, the children read their name, Appleton. "Look, Mommy," said Patrick, "that's our name and our apartment number." "Why, yes, it is," she answered. "Isn't it exciting?" "Can we go upstairs now?" asked Alex. "In just a few minutes," answered Daddy. "Mr. Frank is still showing us around here, downstairs." "Well, there's really not too much more to see," said Mr. Frank. "Behind the mailboxes is a gym, and through the gym is a stairway to downstairs where there are storage bins for all of the village residents. They have your apartment number on them, just in case you need to store something downstairs." "Hey, what is this in our mail slot?" asked Patrick, holding up a light blue envelope. "It says the Appleton family right on the front." Said Daddy. "Let's take it upstairs and open it in our apartment." And he put the envelope in his pocket. The boys ran to the elevator. "Can we press the button? Can we press the button?" they asked. And Mommy said that they could press the button, and they pressed it together. And the elevator motor gave a whirl, a couple of bangs, a squeal, and it clanged. And then it began its descent down to the lobby. It thudded to a stop and the door slid open, revealing a mirrored inside, just like the mirrors outside the building. The Appleton family and Mr. Frank stepped inside, and the boys both together pressed number 5, and the elevator started the slow ride up to the 5th floor. As the elevator rose, it dinged off each floor, and on the 5th ding, the door slid open. They stood outside of the elevator at the beginning of a long hallway, and halfway up the hallway were 4 doors. The children ran to door 502. The movers were just finishing up, and Daddy thanked them for doing such a great job of getting all of their belongings safely to their new home. "Well, I'll leave you here," said Mr. Frank. "Go on, explore your new home," he told the boys. Patrick and Alex ran into the apartment, and Daddy shook Mr. Frank's hand again and thanked him for showing them around, and then they entered the apartment. The children were already in their bedroom, and they were happy to see that the movers had put their bunk beds together. All of their boxes were neatly stacked in a corner, and it was the same in every room of the apartment. Boxes everywhere. Mommy and Daddy were in their bedroom, and Mommy was opening up a box labeled linens. "At least I can make up the beds," she said. The children entered their parents' bedroom. "Daddy, what was in the envelope?" asked Patrick. "Oh, I almost forgot," answered Daddy. And he pulled the envelope out of his pocket and he opened it. "Why, it looks like a riddle." "What does it say?" asked Alex. "Well, it reads, 'When the moon hits your eye, then it's time for some pizza pie.'" "What does that mean?" asked Mommy. "I know," said Alex. "It means when it starts to get dark and the moon comes out, we should go get some pizza." "And I know where," said Patrick. "There's a pizza parlor right next door to our apartments. I saw it when we pulled up in the taxi." "You know, I think you're right," said Daddy. "How about we put some things away, and when the moon comes up, we'll go next door and get some pizza." "Yay!" cried out the children. Pizza was their favorite food. And the Appletons set about emptying boxes and putting things away, and the children emptied boxes in their bedroom, and Mommy and Daddy worked on the kitchen, and soon the moon was up, and the Appletons headed out for dinner. "See, there it is," said Patrick, pointing to the little restaurant on the side of the apartment complex. "Mario's," said Daddy. "Let's go in." He opened the door, and the family entered the restaurant. "Welcome, welcome," said the man behind the counter. "You must be the Appletons." "We are," said Daddy. "We found this card in our mail bin." "Yes, yes," said the man. "My name is Anthony, but you can call me Tony. I live in the village apartments as well, up on the 3rd floor. I wanted to make sure you had something to eat tonight. You no cook." "Well, thank you very much," said Mommy. "I don't know what we would have had for dinner. I haven't been shopping yet." "Well, you no worry about that," said Mr. Tony. "I take care of everything tonight. I do need a little bit of help. Can you boys come back here and help me make the pie?" "Can we, Mommy? Can we?" asked Alex. Mommy looked at Daddy and she shrugged her shoulders. "I suppose," she said. "Angela, I need you to take the Appletons and find them a nice table. Let them sit down and then they can watch us make some pizza. Boys, you come back here with me." And he lifted up part of the counter, and the boys came in and they were back behind the counter with Tony. Angela escorted Mommy and Daddy to the table where they sat and watched as Alex and Patrick helped Mr. Tony make pizza. "Pie?" said Patrick. "I thought we were going to make a pizza." "Yes, yes, pizza. It's a pie," Tony laughed. "It's a pizza pie." And on the counter, the boys saw a big ball of dough. "So first, you take the dough and you knead it with your hands like this," Mr. Tony said. He was showing the boys how you push and you knead the dough. "Now you do it." And Alex went first. He was pushing with his fist and the base of his hand. And then Patrick was pressing it out, making it into a circle. "You're doing a wonderful job. You sure you never made the pizza before?" Tony asked. No, this is our first time," said Alex and Patrick. "Okay, now this is the tricky part," Tony said. And he lifted the dough up onto his hand and he started spinning it around, making it bigger and bigger. "Wow, can you show us how to do that?" asked Alex. Sure. It takes some practice," Tony told them. "Give me your hand, Patrick." And he put the dough on Patrick's hand, and then he showed him how to balance the dough and make it spin. Okay, said Mr. Tony. "Now, Alex, so you get a turn." And Mr. Tony did the same with Alex, and Alex was spinning the dough, and both of the boys were getting so excited. I'm doing it. Look, Mommy, look, Daddy, I'm doing it." And Mommy and Daddy were sitting at the table, and they were clapping and clapping. They were so proud of their boys. "Next, we put the dough on a tray and we spread it out like this. And now I need some marinara," Tony said. "Patrick, you ladle some of the sauce on the dough and spread it around." And Patrick did what he was asked. And the pizza started really looking like a pizza now. "What do you think we need next?" Mr. Tony asked. Cheese, we need cheese," said Alex. "Yes, so we need some cheese. Grab a handful of the cheese and sprinkle it on." And then Mr. Tony says, "No, hey, we need more cheese. You only put a little bit. Come on, put more in there." And Alex grabbed another handful of the cheese and added it to the pizza. "Okay, now what do you want on the top?" "Pepperoni. You want sausage. You want onion. You want pepper. What do you want?" "Let's do pepperoni," said Patrick. So the boys helped Mr. Tony finish putting the pizza together, and they watched him put it in the wood-burning oven that looked like a huge fireplace. And when the pizza was done, they helped Mr. Tony bring it to the table, and the Appleton family ate a wonderful dinner that the boys had made themselves. And after dinner, the Appletons thanked Mr. Tony for teaching the boys how to make a pizza and making their first night in their apartment a memorable night. The Appletons headed home with their bellies full. The boys really enjoyed learning how to make a pizza and meeting Mr. Tony. It was a fun first night in their new home. "Mommy, when we get back to our apartment, can we write a thank you to Mr. Tony?" asked Patrick. "Of course you can. That is very thoughtful," their mother said. As they entered the building, Alex noticed something shiny in the mail slot. "Hey! What is this in our mail bin?" He ran to the box and pulled out another envelope and 3 coins and handed them to Daddy. I don't know," said Daddy. "These look like tokens," he said about the coins. "Let's go upstairs and we'll read the card." The Appleton family waited anxiously for the elevator. The boys couldn't wait to find out what was in the envelope and what were the coins for. What did it mean? Who put them there? Well, you're going to have to come back next week to find out what is in the card. What are those coins for? What is the next adventure for Patrick and Alex? I hope you enjoyed today's story. Thank you so much. Have a great night.